I think it's been almost 2 months since anything was posted. But I put up the, I guess it would be the second Pizzagate episode again, just kind of like redid the video and uploaded it. Just said, screw it, it's good stuff. Just renew it, let some more people see it. That, and then the newer one about the dancing Israelis on 9/11. Those two have blown up our YouTube channel for the past 2 months. So we're now at over 1,000 hours, viewing hours, or whatever. We're up like a ton of subscribers, and then comments, and then the views. Like we're getting at least 100 a day, which isn't a lot, but after 2 months of not posting, that's quite a bit. So
that's the algorithm for you.
Well, I thought it was funny because, right, a few years ago you couldn't talk about this stuff, but now that the crazy lefties all hate Israel and the Jews, you can talk about this all day. They love it. So you got little cheeky comments on YouTube coming, when you go through it. But I mean, it seems most people agree with what we're saying. Not that it matters. We really don't care if you agree or not. This is how we feel and what we find. Facts don't give a shit about your feelings.
Well, there's a lot of people who have the same comments or sentiments, but they don't want to express it publicly.
Right.
They don't want to be that guy, which is unfortunate because, it kind of, it's like self-censoring. You can't express what you really feel and you have to keep it in.
Yeah, it's so freeing being able to not care what this person or people in front of you are going to think about what you actually believe in saying. It's freedom.
Right.
First Amendment. People should really, get more used to that. I mean, a lot of people today use it in the wrong way because they don't really, right? They don't really feel that way. They just do it as to be a troll or, because people aren't used to getting punched in the mouth. But when it's something that's worth maybe taking a punch in the mouth for, you should definitely say it.
Well, think about how fringe some of the conspiracies, the theories were back in the day when you would tell somebody they're listening to you through your phone. And people are like, what are you talking about? Come on. Why would they do that? And now it's just like, of course they are. Everybody's so comfortable now to say it and acknowledge it. And another thing is I was watching that Viking show. Maybe it's just called Vikings, but it's a pretty popular TV show back in the day. And one of the things is the guys, when they meet the other group of Vikings, he says who he is, and there's no verification. And the other Vikings just like acknowledge, yeah, I guess you are who you say you are, and your reputation precedes you. And I was thinking, what stops people from pretending to be other people? And maybe that did happen, but I think there was like a different code of honor back then. People didn't just lie and talk shit. When you said something, you stood by it because you knew that they would kill you over something like that, as simple as dropping a name that you're not really who you are. Nowadays, people have no honor, or maybe just not quite as much honor as they used to. Morals, all that's out the window. People just say whatever the fuck they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and accountability.
Accountability, that's right.
Yeah, when you can hide yourself on the internet and everything. I mean, which is fine, but in a lot of ways, people, they bandwagon. So it's always attacking the person that is right. Or, that it just evil kind of, right? With teenagers and stuff. Or, I mean, even now you got Chat GPT doing it, convincing teenagers to kill themselves instead of, I think it's the internet's fault. I think it's the amount of negativity and everything. And people jump on the bandwagon against the people that are like, raise their hand and, hey, maybe it's this. It's bad. People are comfortable being assholes in this day and age, and they never say what they actually want to say, and we need more people like that. I think this younger generation, through the indoctrination and everything, right? Because they were like born, growing up little kids through COVID, now coming out and seeing, oh, they killed Charlie Kirk, or just all the propaganda going on. They're pissed. I mean, these people are coming up, won't shut their mouths. So we're gonna have some strong leaders, I believe, in the future. Just hopefully, hopefully for the good.
You take away the dream of one day you're going to own a house and one day you're going to have a family and all these things, and take away those dreams, like the birth rates are dropping and all these things, and everything's so expensive. So not only have they felt like they've been screwed over out of their childhoods, but they have the dream taken from them as well. And so yeah, we're going to have a bunch of, it's like the 1980s all over again, a bunch of freaking rebels running around and fight the system.
A lot of ghetto too, right? Because the influence is, oh, you're not, no family, no house, whatever. It's just about making that money quick and everything. And if that's what they're left with, that's what we're going to see. A lot of people scared on the inside, running around pretending to be something they're not, and never really standing for anything that matters.
And on top of it, you have the people like us who have believed in something and fought for it. And then the deeper you go down the rabbit hole, you start to see the players and the bad actors, and you see different ways you've been misled or misrepresented, or what you misunderstood something. It's like the whole Charlie Kirk's wife thing. The deeper you go down that rabbit hole, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like you take that away from people too, what you were fighting for and what you believed in. And it's, yeah, it's like, how do we ever return to a semblance of normalcy ever again after this? They talk about the Great Reset and new financial systems and new government and new religion, but I don't understand how we're going to get people to believe in that again unless they just wipe the board. What do you do? How do you put people back in the trusting things?
You take him to war.
Yeah, war, exhaustion. That could be physical war, or the kind of war we're seeing right now, where honestly, not making podcasts for almost 2 months isn't due to just being busy or lazy or anything like that. I've had nothing to talk about. There's so much stuff, but it's all like going down the river. It's nothing, oh, we figured it out. It's like it's being put in front of you on purpose.
And we brought
Everything
it up
else is
before.
quiet. Yeah. Or we've talked about it. Yeah. I think that either actual war or just something like this where people are like, I'm tired of talking about it. And they all just settle back down and get it, start getting fat and lazy again. We're not far from that. Just been a few years. Everyone loved, missing those, locking down for 2 weeks for COVID, some of them months, some of them years. We're going to see that. Everyone's riled up right now, but as long as they don't have to stand up and actually do anything, they're going to lose.
Well, and like you said, sorry, Jay, go ahead.
I think we're going to be in that situation soon. Have you guys seen the whole thing about the government shutting down again? On top of the whole IRS shutdown?
I haven't.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks, the government's going to shut down because, there's no money again.
Jay, you called it.
This time for real then, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was like that last time, but this time, no money. This is starting to feel strategically, right? If it's true and is going to happen, strategically planned for specifically the IRS and tax season.
And on top of that, the U.S. Postal Service is issuing that that letter saying, "Hey, in times of disasters,
Carry
keep
your
this
ID.
letter. Yeah, carry your ID. Keep this letter because if you're called on to continue working for the postal service, and if you're stopped by anyone, you can present this and come to work."
Which is scary because I don't recall seeing a whole lot of information during COVID of people actually being stopped and getting verified if they were actually essential.
I worked during COVID and I didn't get stopped, but there was police patrols. And the weirdest thing was there was nobody on the road. It was so crazy out here driving to the different
locations. They made it easy.
Yeah.
They made it easy
really
for the police. Yeah.
Yeah.
If everyone obeys, I mean, the 2-3 people that don't, it's going to be easy to catch them and I guess verify.
Well, I was even wondering, like, where the hell did the homeless people go? And I guess they were in little camps as usual, but you didn't see the weirdos wandering around swatting the air. Like, it was like zombie land, man. I mean, minus the broken down vehicles. It was just barren. Like,
yeah.
What? It's weird.
It wasn't quite that bad here. A lot less people, on the roads, especially going to work. but there was still, plenty of traffic, I would say. What do you guys think this is going to be? I mean, sounds like financial shutdown, right? But it was kind of almost specific with the pandemic, or like it said hurricane or something, martial law, right? This is kind of coming into these articles that I'm going to get into about that new flu that's out and everything. Is what do you guys think is this is leaning towards?
I think there's going to be some sort of civil unrest, and you already can see the clues because you've seen the whole Somali stuff happening in Minnesota, and then the subsequent protests. There's the Iranian protests that just happened, I guess today. Um, there was an
That's a big
Iranian
one, really big
protest
one.
where a U-Haul driver was trying to get through, and I think they pulled him out because he was trying to run over people to get to where he was going. But yeah, a lot more of that is gonna increase. And I just shared in the group the whole Indian H1Bs is all centered in Texas, and I can attest to that. Um, Majority of the places that I go to is like there's an Indian restaurant there, and then I'll see like groups of Indian guys, like chilling, cruising around. Um, my my wife's boss is, I guess, Pakistani, but she carries herself as Indian. So I don't know. I don't know if that counts, but yeah, there's a lot of Pakistani and Indian people here with H1Bs, and there's a whole bunch of tech um, companies here too, especially like what um, uh, Tesla, and like there's Samsung. There's yeah, there's a whole bunch of big companies here in Texas now.
Oh yeah, here in Oregon as well, whole bunch of them. Google, Facebook, Apple, the data centers and giant, distribution warehouses. I don't think though Trump is gonna like shit where he eats to say when it comes to that, right? Because he is only deporting the illegals. He wouldn't then go, you have to do all this in the USA or we're gonna tax you and then get rid of their workers, right?
He's trying to stop more coming in.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any power to like get rid of people that's already here.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he does, that's going to be like a uprising he never seen before.
That's what I was thinking. Silicon Valley getting real pissed and pulling some cables there. Be blackouts for a while.
Well, did you guys see what was going on in I think it's Germany with the blackouts?
No.
Holy shit, man. Yeah, they're experiencing some massive blackouts because of a eco-terrorist group that's claiming responsibility for it. They started they started fires at some power plant and like blacked out a huge portion of the city. And then right in the middle of winter, obviously, and they're dealing with frigid cold, and people are like sleeping in the hallways of their apartment complexes because that's the warmest areas. And at first they were talking, the power companies were getting together and they were saying it could take weeks to get the power back on, but what ended up happening is they all worked together and they estimated it'd be about 5 to 7 days without power, but the whole city was just down, everything, even like cellular service went down, everything. And it was this one group, and of course you had the I don't know what the equivalent of FBI is over there, but the police were saying, yeah, we've known about this eco-terrorist group, they've done things before, but we never thought it would get this bad. And if you don't stop them and stomp these people out, then it does get this bad, and it's going to get worse. If you don't, Asmongold actually did coverage of this just the other day, and he was saying he's like, I would go biblical on their asses, because if you don't make a real example of these people, they just get completely nuts, and people are
Exactly.
dying.
Yeah.
Charge the people directly involved with capital punishment, because people will die from power outages like that.
The reason it's happening is because they're allowing them to let it happen. They're
Yeah.
allowing them to do it. It's like the new Patsy game these days. You just find someone crazy enough or a group of people crazy enough that want to do something, and then you go and let them do it or give them the tools to do it, or be there with them pretending to be on their team to get them to do it. Just like that governor that was they were plotting to kidnap her. Do you recall that, like 4 years ago? It was a big thing 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes. Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, a bunch of good old boys or something. There was only a few of them, and then like everyone else in the group was FBI, and they were like, "Oh, maybe we should kidnap her." And they're like, "Oh, I don't know." And they're like, "No, we need to do it." And like pushing them to do it. All the charges got dropped. Like those guys got away with it because it wasn't even them doing it. It was the actual FBI trying to kidnap this lady. It's
But
a
January 6th.
Yeah, it's a false flag. Big red flag, because they're literally going, I hope that we get these people to go into the Capitol and kill some congressmen or some senators. Then we can completely destroy Trump and everything he's worked for. Do you guys see the official video, the remake they were showing on CNN and MSNBC and whatever, all those other lefty news channels where Trump, he says, we're going to go down to the Capitol and we're going to fight like hell, but that's not what he said in that order. He said, we're peacefully going to, well, my wife even said, she's like, that's the one I saw. I can't believe they showed that on TV. They cut it up. It was BBC, and it makes Trump looking like he's demanding we all go down there and, burn it down. But I watched the original because I was watching on InfoWars. I think you guys were too. And it just showed how, who's going to jail for that? The whole company should get shut down, everyone arrested. When you get caught doing that kind of propaganda, I mean, that's a like those are war crimes. We should be going to war. It's
Yeah, I
crazy.
remember being down at the U.S. Capitol or the Hawaii State Capitol on January 6th, peacefully. But yeah, we were listening to InfoWars. There was a guy with a giant speaker down there blasting the InfoWars
That's
coverage
so
of it.
cool.
And there was a crap load of people. But I believe I mentioned this on one of our other podcasts. There was a guy. I swear to God, he was an FBI plant, because he was in like a cavalry uniform from like the Civil War, and he was down there. He drove like a Camaro down into the Capitol area, and he was trying to get people to go in and into the Capitol and create a distraction so he could sneak in and mess up the interior of the building. And he's like, I'm going to stick an American flag right in one of the nice chairs they have there and take a
Mm,
picture of it. And I need a distraction. Someone go make a distraction for the cops.
mm,
And we're
yeah.
like, I don't feel good about this. I don't think so.
Did he have aviator sunglasses on too? Is that what you're going to tell me next?
No. But the thing is, I went to an anti-vax rally, and we did a caravan through Waikiki before we actually got out with our signs in Waikiki.
I
And
remember that.
yeah, the guy, we were, traffic and everything. So we're slowly going past all the people on the sidewalk. And there was a guy in a brand new Dodge Charger
Ooh, I
standing on
knew
the
it.
side of the road with a freaking sign that said "fuck Trump." And it's this, I'm like, that's the guy. Holy
It's the
shit.
same guy.
It's the same guy. Yeah. And sure enough, I'm like, he's down there trying to blend in and get people riled up. Luckily, no one bit the bait, but
Yeah.
because you saw what happened with those FBI agents on January 6th.
No shit.
Anyways,
Crazy world we're living in right now.
Some of those guys get paid.
absolutely
Oh,
provocateurs.
they all get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw a video. It was the anti-ice protesters, and the lady's yelling, and the lady with the microphone, she's like, do you even have a job? And she's like, I'm getting paid right now. And she's like, can you say that again? They are. Yeah, just like the Somalis, right? They were posting Craigslist ads to hire actor children to pretend to, to help them pretend to be a daycare while the government investigated them. They're paying tons of money to bring your kids down here and pretend that we actually watch them, and we'll pay you for it. It's crazy.
I wonder how many of those we have going on out here in Hawaii, because it's such a melting pot. here in
Hmm.
Hawaii. You can only imagine how many operations like that are going on, because even Elon Musk came out and said, "You think Minnesota or whatever was bad? Look at imagine California. California is way worse."
Oh yeah.
You know, in other states, I can only imagine.
I mean, I'm sure schools are doing that too
Yeah.
because they get paid. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars per kid. You just throw the
Yes.
numbers off a little bit, give yourself a raise for that year, right?
Well, and I got a perfect example of that in my own personal life. So my son has issues with going to school and just accountability and all that stuff. And the school, at first, I'm like, why is it that I get a text saying that he was there for first period, missed second, third, fourth, fifth, and then came back for sixth period and was late? Or stuff like that. And I'm like, that doesn't, why would he show up for first, skip all the day, then come back to school for the last period? And then it would chop up and it'd be like, different periods that would do that for. He would be tardy, not marked absence. And I'm like, is this like some kind of funding thing? They have to show that kids are actually going to school. Oh, mark him as tardy, even though he was never there to begin with.
Yeah, because they have to have them in a certain amount of days of year or whatever to be
You
able to
could blame
qualify.
Common Core as well. No child left behind, but this is beyond that. I think this is funding.
Yeah, it's and these people don't just all learn how to do it on their own. It's just writing the system. I mean, you look at qualifications for even welfare and stuff, and there's loopholes. That's why some people have spent generations living off of it. Because if you were to sign up and do it how you thought you were supposed to, you're not going to be able to live off of it. So there's got to be loopholes in there, right? Just like people have done with taxes. I remember being told that at what my second job ever. There's this girl that I worked with, and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, for every month of the year, I claim 10 people on my taxes, but then at the very end, I switch it." And I'm like, "What does that even do?" I'm still not sure what it does, but she was convinced that it stopped them from taking a certain amount of money,
Yep.
and then she got to also keep it at the end of the year by switching it, like she was paying into it. But
You don't get to keep it, but what it does is it adds. So they'll take like a couple dollars out of your paycheck rather than 100 plus, and then when you switch it at the end of the year back, or you probably want to switch it sooner, like halfway through the year, because then you end up owing by the end,
right,
when you can't provide social security numbers for those dependents. But if you do it like halfway through the year, then you end up at zero. You don't get a tax return. Is the strategy, at least.
almost like they were there the whole year and then they moved out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of people do it during the holiday season to get more money on their Christmas paychecks. So yeah, you just
Gotcha.
mark you have 10 dependents,
Yeah.
they take a couple bucks and switch it back. But
Gotcha. Anything to you want to add in there, Jay? Let's see.
Nope.
All right. You guys have both seen this, right? This is crazy stuff. The Venezuelan security guard loyal to Nicolas Maduro, his report of what happened when they just kidnapped that guy.
yeah, I saw it. You know what? Before we dive into it, I just want to say he's talking about people bleeding it out of their noses and puking out blood and falling to the
Yeah.
ground. 300 getting 300 rounds per minute, all that. So how did this guy survive? Is it just because he was maybe the right hand man to Maduro and not?
Yeah, and they said hundreds of them too. There
Sounds
was
like he was
hundreds.
like a guy in that, like a security booth, or like a security office with all the monitors and stuff.
I see.
Because he described, like, in that first part about stuff not working, the radar system's not working. He must have been in some sort of office.
Oh, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Why they wouldn't be killed too. Who knows? He might not have even been armed. He was like a supervisor or something like that. But yeah, not sure really what to dive into. I think everyone should hear about this. But yeah, drones appeared, then some helicopters, but it sounded like only a few helicopters, and then soldiers arrived, but only like 20. And there was some sort of weapon that was used that disorientated them and made them like hit their knees on the ground and bleeding and throwing up blood. And then 300
Sonic
rounds per
weapons.
minute. Sonic weapons, yeah. It sounded crazy. Let's see if I can get a quote from him. Said, in your own weapons, didn't they help? Security guard. No help at all because it wasn't just the weapons. At one point, they launched something. I don't know how to describe it. It was like a very intense sound wave. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from the inside. We all started bleeding from the nose. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. And your comrades, did they manage to resist? No, not at all. Those 20 men without a single casualty killed hundreds of us. We had no way to compete with their technology, with their weapons. I swear I've never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up after that sonic weapon or whatever it was. So it is a weird story, right? It's a weird testimony, I guess we could call it. Whether it's true or not, I do believe the ending of this is accurate. I do believe that Latin America, right, is now on like the whole how they do that. You know what I mean? No American
Yeah.
casualties right there tells you far more superior than Venezuela. And it just hit. Boom. Right? Done. It was like they went and picked them up. Which is, I mean, what they did, but it was like there was nothing to it.
It reminds me of The Dark Knight, where the
Yeah.
guy flees to China and they
Yep.
just beat his ass, knock out the freaking security, hook a cable, and boom, away he goes right out the window.
People kept saying LRAD, right? It says long range acoustic device,
Yeah.
acoustic hailing device or sound cannon, loud specialized loudspeaker, and sound weapon that produces sound at high power for communicating at a distance.
So that technology has been around for a while.
Yeah,
And then
at least 60 years.
imagine a military version of that, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure what that post was alluding to.
Yeah. And who knows if it was, right? I want to see what the soldiers looked like. Do they have like special helmets and gear and stuff? Was it coming from something out in the sky, like, on a helicopter, on a something, plane way high up? Was it coming off of them? Was it a weapon they were holding? That's what I want to know. Because they said they killed hundreds, but was that? I mean, I doubt. Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's possible because have you guys remember that article or that video, I guess, about a heads up unit or a headset that has like a visor that comes down where it highlights your target or the targets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They could have been using something like that in a more matured, like combat ready version, right? And then, like in the beginning of the that post, it said like there was a whole bunch of drones. Those drones could have been like some sort of lidar or radar kind of thing to point out those targets and feed into those visors or those helmets.
Yep, everything's linked. So everybody's perspective is catching an angle and then transmitting onto the visors or through their goggles.
Specifically, it does say those men were technologically very advanced. They didn't look like anything we fought against before. So that makes sense. As soon as I heard it, I was like, AI. Sounds like they're using some sort of AI, right? Targeting systems.
Yeah.
I mean, firing 300 rounds in a minute.
Like some
pretty
sort
wild.
of combat aid. I wouldn't be surprised if they have exoskeletons, like something like Master Chief level of assisted combat suit.
Mm-hmm.
Even crazier, what if they weren't humans at all? What if they were robots?
Fucking energy shields.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
I just think of those Star Wars ones that roll in a ball and then they get up in their turret and they're like,
oh, fuck yeah.
Because 300 rounds per minute, but if you could make each round or like the amount 80% completely accurate of those rounds.
Well, 300 rounds a minute. Imagine how hot those fucking barrels were at the end.
Right. Yeah.
I'm really relieved. Talk about a rug pull. because all we keep hearing is China talking all this shit that they got these missiles that can level cities and all this stuff, and you really don't hear a lot from the United States as far as weapons display. But then here we come, and it's not even the U.S. saying it; it's security guards on the opposing side saying,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always the quiet one you got to watch out for, you know.
Yeah, it's the other guys. I mean, Trump said that we have weapons that the world has never seen before, and we do have like the largest budget for military. And I'm doubting that that's like, a large chunk of that is investing into new technology and probably just manufacturing technology that is advanced and new that we already have to get it more widespread. More people have it.
Yeah, mass produced.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that we are not in the Obama years where we're telegraphing to the entire world, hey, we're going to hit this spot on this day at this time, and we're going to use this specific drone and missile, etc. Just
That's
to
what we
let
did
everybody.
to Iran.
Oh, we did. That's right. I
Yeah,
guess we
like
did do a
six
little
months
of that.
ago or 8 months ago.
Well, it seems a lot less.
Oh, yeah, right? Everyone's like, yeah, the U.S. will be busy New Year. Everyone's busy. That's crazy. And they swooped in and got him. But I keep hearing this, which seems to be the mainstream narrative, if you will, that they're taking over Venezuela to stop Russia and China getting it, to stop Russia from further attacking Ukraine and China, Taiwan. So I'm sure that's part of it. I'm sure there's also a lot more we don't know about. I was thinking from some data I saw that it's so Israel can start take over a country or an area in South America, have a big presence there of their own. So you'd have the U.S. up here, Israel down here, Israel way over here, U.S. up there, and that's why the U.S. is going after Greenland next.
I don't
Makes
know
a
if you
lot
guys
of
saw
sense.
the comments from, I don't remember what country it was, but somebody was talking about we're going to shoot first and ask questions later if they want to try that with Greenland. If U.S. tries that with Greenland, we're going to shoot first and ask questions later.
How's the BRICS nations?
Mm.
I'm pretty sure it's the same thing like this, right? Maybe not oil, but strategic, land. So if we got Greenland, that'd be really hard for Russia or China to be able to do anything sneaky ever. Especially Russia, though. But honestly, if I had to pick someone to take us over, it'd be Russia, like preferred Christian country.
Russian women are beautiful.
I was trying to think of one. I couldn't. Melania. I don't know a lot of Russian women.
What is that chick that was in that 70s show?
Oh, Mia Kunis or something like that.
I
Yeah.
thought she was. Is she Russian?
Yeah.
She's Spanish, isn't she?
No,
Oh,
she's
really?
No.
Russian. Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. All right. Let's see. You guys heard anything else weird about this? I keep seeing videos of, I guess they're kind of like flying saucers. That's what they look like, but advanced, like weaponry that's a vehicle instead of like a handheld weapon or something. Not sure if I sent that to you guys, but yeah, it looks like a UFO. And then you get people that were in the military before going, we've had those for a while, but you just never hear or see them. Kind of like the Doomsday plane that just arrived, a week ago?
What's that all about? What do you mean?
So the Doomsday plane, let's see, where was it? Is spotted at the LAX, and they're calling it the Doomsday plane. I'm not entirely sure why. And I'll tell you.
So the
Go ahead, Jay.
president gets on that and basically flies around, being not at one place at a time, in case of some sort of war breaking out. Because if the president goes to Cheyenne Mountain, the whole world's going to know to nuke Cheyenne Mountain. But if he's not there, the command of the U.S. forces will continue, kind of thing. So that's basically the function of the Doomsday plane is um, the president, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they basically live in there until whatever disaster or war scenario thing ends.
So it used to be this. I don't really want to click on these pictures because I'm not sure what it's going to do to the stream, but this is old tech.
Yeah,
So I
really
think
old.
this is more of a symbol now instead of the actual what they would call the Doomsday plane. It might have been the old one, but so it's more to symbolize something.
Well, and you also have like the stories of the presidential blockade or whatever with all the vehicles, and you think the president's in this one vehicle, but really
Mm-hmm.
he's somewhere else. You have no idea,
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. So this
Decoys.
happened right
decoys.
after they captured Maduro. It landed at the LAX. So kind of eerie, kind of weird. That's why I named this episode the Doomsday. Put Doomsday in it, just because everything happening right now.
Yeah.
A slight shift could all just go to shit.
Well, and
Honestly,
even
and these are
poly
signs of
markets.
it.
What's that?
Oh, I said these are just signs of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got Polymarket, the betting website. You can just bet on anything. And people were betting on New Year's being some kind of mass terrorist attack. But you have the talks of 9/11 on steroids coming here soon. And, everything's heating up. And if they want, their agenda to play forward, they keep trying to push us into that civil war, something, so they keep turning the heat up, turning it up. And I think we're at that breaking point. I think we've been saying this for years, but we're there. We're knocking on the door.
Yeah, and I wanted to show you guys this too. So last time this was updated was January of last year, and it was 89 seconds. So I'm gonna place my bets right now since we're talking about it. I bet the next one is 60 seconds to midnight. I bet it is, and I bet it gets updated here shortly. So
I'd
89
say
seconds
that's
to
gonna
midnight.
happen by the end of the month.
Oh yeah, I'm
We'll
thinking
get
so
to,
too.
we'll get closer to that 1 minute or even 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, 30. I could see it.
Well, and remember the Gregorian calendar. What's
Yeah,
the older one? Gregorian?
I think
Gregorian
the
is the current one.
Okay,
yeah.
Ju-
so the Julian.
yeah.
Yeah, so the 14th, which I believe is Wednesday, is actually Gregorian calendar New Year's. Bo Polony is saying that something is going to be happening based off of that calendar.
This Tuesday, you said
Wednesday. That'd be
Wednesday.
the actual New Year's.
Gotcha. The 14th.
14th. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. This is why I hate holidays. Like my family knows we'll do it and everything, but I'm like I hate them because they're not what they represent, and it's just big corp sitting here trying to push me into spending way too much money on stupid shit that we don't need, and half the time even want. But yeah, see, here's that the protests in Iran. That's interesting. Uh, so I guess their country's going to shit too because they needed Venezuela. And now that that's not happening, Iran's going to go down, and that's pushing both Russia and China in very interesting position. So I was hearing that without Iran and Venezuela, like China had no oil, right? So it's not that they wouldn't attack Taiwan; they financially and like wouldn't have the energy to actually move their stuff to get the job done without it.
Yeah, and they just seized that oil tanker for Russia coming out of Venezuela. I always thought
Yeah,
I didn't realize there was such a reliance on Venezuela, but I thought Russia was a huge supplier of oil, but maybe they still outsource.
I don't think it was oil.
Oh, on that ship that they grabbed.
Yeah, when you
Ah,
watch it, it did some weird stuff and like went around a different way, and then noticed like our planes or someone's planes, and then took off the other way and disappeared. And yeah, it was weird stuff going on that. And then Putin was pretty pissed off that that happened. We'll see. See how about that flu? Guys, that new flu that just happened. You guys like that? I
No,
know
I
you
did
had
not.
to have had it by now.
I did not.
It's horrible.
The flu, not a cold, but a flu. So stomach,
Yeah,
all
Yeah.
that.
it was a
Oh,
flu.
And not a stomach flu. I mean, it could be, I guess, in a way. It just depends on your side effects. It was a lot like what you would call COVID,
mm.
Yeah,
right?
I'm still kind of recovering. Like there's phlegm just stuck in the back of my throat.
Yeah, you can hear it. I have it too, and it's been 2 weeks since.
Yep.
Paint us a better picture, Jay.
Like I try to get rid of it. I'm like taking vitamin C's. You know my normal stack. It's still there. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm drinking tea. I'm drinking or eating like ginger candy just to dislodge it, but no, it's still there. It's just persistent.
Yeah, really, really thick and dry, huh?
Yeah, I got the whole family got sick right before Christmas, right before we were gonna leave for our vacation, and I'm like, son of a bee, this is not happening right now. And by the grace of God, I started feeling better right before we flew out. Like, I mean, I was still a little under the weather, but I guess that would have been that cold you must have been talking about, or that flu.
Yeah, they're calling it a flu. Not sure exactly. I don't know. And they're pushing so hard for everyone to get their shots, and they're like, it might work against it, it might not, but yet it changes a lot, and it's wild. I mean, it was up there. I felt like one of the days, maybe two of the days, I felt like I got hit by a bus, and then I kept waking up like, you know, nose, throat, everything, hard to breathe, and just had to sit there for like 5 minutes and hack out like dry, thick stuff,
Yep,
uh,
same here.
just to breathe. I mean, it was nasty.
Did you get the muscle aches too?
Yeah,
Weird
that's what I
muscle
was saying.
aches?
It felt like I got hit by a
Yeah,
bus. Yeah,
same here.
bad. That was the worst part.
If I were to rate it, it was like double what I experienced with COVID, the original COVID.
Mm.
Like
I got
It
off
felt
real
like
easy.
with
pneumonia.
with the first of COVID, I got over it in like 3 days. Like I just down like what 16 grams of vitamin C throughout the day,
Hmm.
like spread out, right? Not all at once, but and then I was knocked out all day for that first COVID. But this one, I did the same thing, but it just kept going. It just lasts longer. It was more persistent, and it still persists now. I'm still fighting it.
Yeah, I was worried I was gonna have to get antibiotics because it wasn't pneumonia. It was like when I've gotten strep throat before. So my throat didn't really hurt, but like how it starts building up and you get more
Yeah,
and more sick progressively.
yeah,
And it's like you're a week and a half in, you're like, oh shit. This is either gonna turn for the worse or start getting better. And it started getting better. Yeah, it was sketchy. Kind of scary. Here's a weird thing though. My kids did not get it like as bad as I did. So
yeah. Same with my kids.
there's some coincidences between this thing and the original COVID strain. I only got one. I missed the rest of the strains. I don't know what's going on.
How many times did you get COVID?
I only got that one time
Yeah,
in
I
the
only got it
very
once
beginning.
too.
I think I tested positive twice, but that was it.
I never
Oh,
took a test.
positive. Yeah. Air
Yeah.
quotes positive.
Yeah, at that time, Nathan, you anyone, I mean anything was testing positive for COVID, so you never knew. And
You know
then
what?
they would also tell you so they could treat you or get the extra cash for it. So it didn't matter. I mean, you could have farted on the test and they would have threw a ventilator on your ass. That's what I had.
Well,
That's
you know
what
what?
would have
Just
happened.
I think back to it because I was going through my camera, deleting, clearing some space before vacation, putting stuff, uploading stuff. But I got to the time period of 2020 to 2022. And I had so many videos and pictures of me at the airport because that was one of the big testing centers. Thousands of people in line. I mean, I'm talking like a quarter-mile freaking line. Maybe not quite a quarter, maybe a freaking eighth. It was fucking long. And I just remember I had videos of me like taking the mask off and people like yelling, "Put your mask back on!" And I'm like, we're not even 6 feet apart. Like, they look at all these people, and then the line would go up one way and go right back down the other way. You're standing next to each other and then wrap around again. And I'm just like, we're outside, you idiots! Like, the lunacy of the things that they made us do back then, and how many people felt unsafe because they were, like, not standing 6 feet apart. None of it made fucking sense. And then
Yeah.
I got some people that would not make me really, like, they just hand me the test and I just like lightly just swab the edge of my nose. And then they started, towards the end of it, they started really getting somebody to shove it up in there. And I'm like, there's the graphene oxide or graphene oxide. Is that what it was? Graphene. What the fuck was that shit called that we were all concerned about?
Yeah, the graphene oxide. There's also shit, I just had this on my phone. I'll try to see if I can pull it up, but they've proven now that that's how they're vaccinating people.
Fuck me.
Is from the swabs. Now it's not going to be all of them, obviously. That'd be way too expensive. And obviously they had this stuff prepared before COVID came out. It was all a plan. Just the mere fact of how many shots they did end up with to be able to mass produce that, right? But hearing that it's quite possible that it was also in the test that they shoved up your nose.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's in our air, it's in our water, it's in our food, whatever they want, it's there. And crazy times, and there's still people getting boosters, man. There's still people getting, they call it their flu shots. I'm gonna go get my flu shots because there's only one you're supposed to take, right? Like the regular flu shot, which I don't take that either because that's just as bad. But yeah, there is, my 6 months flu shots. They're COVID shots that they're getting still. Absolutely fucking insane.
Well,
and they still get sick.
Yep, that's right. So what are you guys' thoughts? Did you guys hear about the bioengineered chicken in Campbell's soup and all the bioengineered stuff, the 3D printed meat coming out right now?
I didn't hear about that specifically, but I did hear the CEO, CFO, whatever he was, start saying that it was for stupid poor people and they deserve what they're getting or whatever he said.
Yep. Yeah. Campbell Soup, the main guy, one of the, I don't know what his position was, but something like that, on video, on camera, talking all sorts of shit about how the meat was basically grown in a lab and that's what they use. And you got to imagine that's what they're using at every other fast food chain as well. So what's stopping them from putting that shit in the food too, like you just said?
Oh, it's definitely happening.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing that they've omitted. Pringles before Pringles wasn't 100% potato chips or made from potatoes. It was some sort of slurry that they shaped into that wavy thing and then sold it as chips.
Mm-hmm. Potato chips, yeah.
Yeah, and those are only delicious because they took they manufactured it from cells from aborted fetuses. That makes like the neurons in your brain snap around when you taste those flavors. You don't actually taste it, but your taste buds and reaction to your brain does.
Sure.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, and then we're so damn addicted to all this shit now. It's like when you get something that's actually normal, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't taste right. This isn't giving me that fix. Different. It tastes different.
Yeah, no shit.
I need my aborted fetus cells.
Yeah, like 3D printed chicken that's edible it sounds better than that. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but that little mucus thing around that animal's butt that they use for
vanilla.
The flavor of vanilla.
Right. What is that from? Is that
me.
Beavers? It's beavers, isn't it?
Is it beavers?
Platypus or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Vanilla extra, the artificial vanilla flavoring. Go ahead, Jay. I'll just let you finish. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. But yes. It 3D printed chicken is better than that.
Yeah. So artificial vanilla is extracted from animal's
butt
taint. There's a little gland that's down there, and that's where they get the flavor from.
The first guy that figured this out.
He blew the
Right?
whistle,
Everyone's
man.
he's like, just give it a sniff.
You know, whoever's listening to this is gonna get their minds blown if they never heard of this before.
They're
Because
switching to organic
yeah,
tonight.
I've been always getting the homemade vanilla version of vanilla ice cream because they use the real vanilla beans or seeds, right? Yeah, I try to avoid the artificial vanilla
Mm.
as much as
And
possible.
it's in
Mm.
fucking everything.
Yeah.
It says we've never had it before because it's too expensive. So you can't buy it on shelves. So it's a delicacy.
Yeah.
We're getting the
what is
house
that?
cat spray. Is what we're getting.
Well, speaking of cats, isn't there like a very expensive coffee where they let
Yeah,
cats eat coffee beans and then
shit
they
it out.
shit it out, and
Yeah.
then you use that to make coffee?
Yep. And I guess it tastes like shit, but so does things like, I guess, wine or most cigars, just certain things. I mean, coffee even kind of tastes like shit sometimes at its natural form, but it's super fancy rich people and their tastes. But yeah.
Boy, does it get me revving.
Mm,
I guess that's why they like eating bugs.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's because they're lizard people, Jay.
You're gonna like it, trust me.
Yeah, no shit. Really wish I could pull up that article real quick. I'm doubting I'll be able to find it in 30 seconds, though.
So while you hunt for that, another thing that I heard about the Venezuela takeover was also because there was massive silver reserves over there in their vaults, and that was part of something that they confiscated, or they are or did confiscate. I guess there was balance sheets that could be referenced that said there was so many billions, or maybe not billions, wouldn't be billions, but there were so many ounces in a vault over there, and as soon as us stepped in, oh my god, the balance sheet reflects something totally different. And because I don't know, I guess China did there on January 1st. China said no more exporting precious metals out of the country unless you have a specific license, which is obviously given to you by the state itself. So every country is pulling precious metals in and not allowing it to flow back out. And US, one of the ways they made sure to, we have what we need is we took it from Venezuela. I'm sure with oil and everything else as well, but yeah, silver was a big one. And if you look, silver is once again up at $85, or it was just a little bit ago, 84, 85.
I thought it was going to mention like all the natural minerals that they have, as yeah, they have silver, but they have a whole bunch of other raw minerals that could help the U.S. in getting back on its feet with manufacturing.
Oh, absolutely. I'm talking about silver that's just been stored in
Yeah,
vaults. There.
like refined silver, but yeah, there Venezuela, or not even Venezuela, the whole South America is rich with raw material ready for like excavation. And do you guys know that there's a Samsung chip plant here in Texas?
No.
It's pretty big. There was like billions of dollars invested into it, and they are competing against Nvidia for like AI chips. And yeah, there's a big investment there, and of course they'll need like clean rooms and sanitized air because you're working with like on the micro level, right, or atom level at this point for these chips, and they need like a very sterile environment. And what you need to, I guess, to have that type of environment, you need like the raw materials for it to refine and get it into that state, right?
It's definitely about the resources.
There's a bigger agenda, but
Oh yeah, no, for
I'll let
sure
you.
that
Yeah,
too.
I'll let you
But
continue with the whole stuff
because Trump
you were
is
talking
kind
about.
of on that right on that track. The drill, baby drill, and we
No,
are seeing the
so
change in silver and gold.
there's a reason why he's going after Greenland, not Colombia. Yeah, well, Colombia, yeah, Cuba, Venezuela, and basically South America at that
Hmm.
point, because Brazil is already like our ally or territory kind of thing, right? No.
Yeah, well, it's
Um,
kind of like Canada, right? Without us, Canada wouldn't exist. They just wouldn't. Just like all these other
mm,
countries, they're kind of feeding
true.
off of it. And if it's not us, it's the other big two, Russia and China.
So the bigger agenda, if you step back, looking at the world map, is if you bring up the UN logo, with the reef and the flat Earth,
Yep.
draw a line between Greenland and Europe and Russia, and then you'll see the bigger picture because it'll be the Western Hemisphere versus the Eurasia continents, and we are, I guess, what is that doctrine? There was a doctrine that was mentioned that Trump is going back to, and he said is a great doctrine. It was basically going back to world powers, separate world powers. So the U.S. is a world power, Russia is a world power, and China will be a world power kind of thing. Europe wasn't really a world power until the UN came in, but now that the UN is just starting to fracture, and you know people are kicking out, or countries are kicking out members, um, they're no longer going to be a power player in this new world that's forming.
This makes sense because if you look at the past, what, 6, 7 years, China's trying to take back land, right? Russia's trying to take back land.
Yeah.
And that's obviously what the US is doing now is we're taking land. Now, I mean, we took the guy out, we're going to end up taking it over, or someone that's attached to us is going to do it. But you guys saw that list, right? I think you sent it to me.
Yep.
The list of the next countries that are in line.
Yep.
Canada's
The hit
third.
list.
So it's, yeah, Cuba's next, right? And
Yep.
Trump's talking
Cuba.
about it today. They're threatening Cuba right now. And instead of just going, I want to take them over, if they leave a trail of like, they warned you, Trump warned you, they did this, they did that, even if it's false flags, it makes it look better than Russia just bombing Ukraine.
Yeah. So for the listeners, the list is Venezuela, Cuba, Greenland, Iran, Canada, Colombia, and Mexico. Um, all but Iran is within our side of the world. I think Iran, we're going after Iran because of the cutting off the oil thing or something. There's something bigger there that we're not being privy to.
I feel like you just listed off like top 10 in the top 10 of most corrupt countries in the world.
Well, and so much they are, like I just said earlier. Thank God they're not telegraphing. Looks like that's exactly what's happening. Here's the
Oh,
list.
how is
Right.
Greenland like a terrorist place?
I guess, yeah, I guess besides that one, but honestly, I don't know, right? Because they're kind of a port area between everything.
Strategic, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
kind of like
think Greenland
Consolidation.
Ukraine
is
was.
strategic.
Like, why is Ukraine so bad? And it's not really because Ukrainians are bad. It's because the influences and laws and stuff they have, they're allowing other bad countries to work through. I'm not too sure on that one, but I mean, you look at Trudeau with Canada, he's out now, but you saw what they did the past few years. Mexico,
Yeah.
and you got Cuba, Venezuela, and Iran. Pretty crazy. That's all people, it seems like, yeah, the US could just reach out and get a hold of them. Like something's coming that they know about.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of that. Is all this verbiage that's being passed around by the power elite that it really leads you to believe, like you said, doomsday is around the corner. And if it is, what do you guys think is going to happen? Any forecasting? They talk about 9/11 on steroids. Any ideas what we could be looking at?
Really depends on the day or which day of the week you're asking me, but I think that a lot of this is trying to shift power and shift the United States into it's not the United States anymore. It changed. Like countries only last a certain amount of time, and now to, you know, get good again in the world, that it now changes and now we're the United States of Israel or something like that. And yeah, and it becomes more of a global power, right? Because the new world order kind of thing under one branch will one day you're not just going to go, okay, everyone's underneath the same flag right now. But you take the US, biggest, strongest military in the world, most funded, allies and everything, and you start grabbing them one by one, by one, by one, all these small countries, all of a sudden you're too big, right? And then you end up in some sort of strategic war like this. Like, I mean, if you cut off the electricity of China tomorrow and then you bomb them 2 weeks from now, there's not a damn thing they're going to be able to do to stop it.
I personally think it has something to do with those Jewish people leaving New York. Like they were
Yeah.
really in a rush leaving. Like they got some sort of news saying, "Hey, you better leave New York."
What
Well,
what
you've seen Instagram.
what happened?
A bunch of Jews were reported like running out of New York in the US to go back to Israel. I think it has to do with the shift. Like their true colors are being shown and everything. And you open up Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Everyone is completely against the Jews right now,
Oh,
which it's supposed to be against the Zionism, and the true Jews don't exist anymore. The ones that are here today are actually Russian. They're not the people that,
Yeah,
from biblical
Khazarian.
times. Yeah, Khazarian Jews from Russia.
Or well, previously before they did Khazaria, they were the Bolsheviks in Russia. They're
Yeah.
the guys that I guess influenced Stalin. Like that's the the regime that did all that mass murder to the Russian people back
And they're
then.
the ones that, back in World War II, they're the ones that actually, what is it called, declared war on Germany. And I just saw
Yeah,
something earlier that over 90% of all the Jews back then, like it was polled, I guess, or whatever, they actually all were for completely exterminating Germans, like wiping them out completely. Over 90% of them voted for that.
well, they
So
certainly
they've been
went
doing
in.
it forever, is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, well, that's the story. If you look down the rabbit hole of the whole German and World War II and Hitler, is the Jews were in there, totally polluting and just corrupting German society and heritage and culture. The book burning was supposedly because it was all trans agenda, LGBT, whatever. I mean, I guess I tend to separate the LGBT whatever stuff from the trans because they always talk about LGBT is sexual orientation, whereas trans is identity, is what you identify as. So it's a little different. But anyways, yeah, you go in there and you look at that rabbit hole of history, and it was the Monroe Doctrine, OJ. It was the Jews were just coming in and fucking shit up, and then you look at what happened to America and what they're behind Hollywood, they're behind the financial system, they're behind. I don't want to go on a Jew rant right now, but they don't have a good track record for enhancing society.
Oh yeah, and 9/11. I mean, the
Hmm.
word starts getting out because a lot of them do hold positions of what you would consider Big Brother, right? Like the banks, everything. But New York, being in New York, you start telling New Yorkers, or you start hearing about New Yorkers starting to believe that they are the reason behind 9/11. It's probably not a place you want to be. All right, what am I looking at, Jay?
no, that's the Monroe Doctrine, in which it bunches up like basically the North American and South American
Gotcha.
continents, and then it's basically like us against the other greater powers.
King and queen. It's to stop it from. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, this is being sabotaged. That's why there's U.S. What is it? USA Corp, right?
Yep.
Do you guys see the girl that was the lady that was killed by ICE
Mm-hmm.
recently? Do you see that kind of evolving into a big George Floyd 2.0 kind of thing? What are your
It'll be
thoughts on that?
forced. It'll be
Yeah.
forced because the powers, they want conflict now, because a lot of things are being exposed, and they want to direct that anger somewhere else instead of to themselves. Because I think this is the year in which we will see people losing their minds and going after these people in power, knowing what they did,
Mm.
or like help other people do bad stuff. Like um, let, just say something comes out, having the governor of California. Man, I can't really speak. So the governor of California, is he still in there? Newsom? Like
Yep.
people know where he lives and whatnot, right? And people
Yeah.
know where he goes, and um, where he shops, where he drinks Starbucks, whatever. There's going to be a point where more information is going to come out that's going to not target but expose people doing bad stuff, and it's more general bad stuff. It's not only pedophile, it's not only money laundering, it's not only these daycare stuff. It's like the full bucket, the full truckload of bad stuff that they've been doing, and
Evil.
people is just gonna start going after these people in power.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was gonna be because of the vax stuff. It could be um, part of it, like people pushing the whole vax agenda. It could have been part of it, but it's just gonna be people understanding what's happening now, why we're in this situation that we are in now, and they'll be frustrated. And I think it's also going to be tied with the monetary system, especially when a whole bunch of these people are being paid to do these bad stuff. Once the money dries up, someone's going to talk.
Oh yeah. Because you don't want to be the last rat to
Yeah,
start squealing for sure.
because if they keep it in and then people find out, hey, you helped this person, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of too late, right, to save your butt.
I feel like that too. I have felt like that, and I just saw something today again that goes with this. Mainstream media, not can't remember which one it was. Main news station. They're out there talking about it now. Like we're gonna start reporting the truth to you because us and other companies like us have been lying to you, and none of you watch our stuff, and none of you listen to us anymore.
Well, they don't want to hang because
Yeah,
of the stuff they're pushing. So they're trying to come clean now. So when shit really hits the fan and people are going after like people in the know, they won't be, I guess they won't be unalived.
yeah,
They'll be beaten up, but like it won't be as bad as what other people are going to be going
yeah.
through.
Their lineage won't be burned down. This reminds
Yeah.
me again of the Spider-Man meme where they're all Spider-Man. They're pointing the fingers at each other in a circle. That's what it's gonna be. They're all
But
bad.
that's my opinion. I just looked through a lot of information, and I think that's going to happen this year.
Yeah, too many players on the board.
Well,
Yeah.
the reason why I asked is, even I sent the link last night, but YouTube, I came across, Saturday nights on YouTube Live is already weird. There's so many weirdos. Every other live stream you scroll through is just like, what the hell? But there was multiple vigils with hundreds of people surrounding. I don't know what the hell it was. I guess it would have been where she was killed. But yeah, they were putting it all over live YouTube live last night of that woman that was shot by ice, and the comment section was blowing up. You know, it
Hmm.
was really like a a war going on in the comment section. It wasn't just a bunch of support. It was everybody was saying everything. So
I think it's going to radicalize certain individuals, but I believe for the general population, it's going to, or general population of the left, it's going to be forgotten about in a couple days,
okay.
right? She, for one, it's a woman. For two, it's a white woman, right? And yeah, that's probably it. You know, they're going to go, oh, she wasn't black and poor. You know,
Mm.
um, well, she doesn't matter because she's a woman. It's just, I mean, if it was a trans woman, you bet your ass that we'd be seeing BLM riots again. But I honestly think that, and that's kind of how I feel about it, honestly. Like, yeah, someone died. I'm not sure exactly. You know, watching both angles, I saw on Reddit, the left is going, he murdered her. And then I saw, you know, on Instagram from the right, like, here's the angle showing you exactly. And both videos look accurate. You know, was he about to die? Can't tell. But, you know, because I can't tell, that gives him enough, you know, right to shoot her coming
Hmm.
at you with a vehicle. I would have pulled the trigger too, honestly. And then it's people are like, well, what was she doing there? Well, this is, you know, America. You can be wherever you want. You're going to suffer, you know, the consequences of your actions. If she was there blocking, because they keep doing that, keep blocking ICE in. And then I
Yep.
see videos of ICE actually, you know, totally violating people's rights left and right. I think both sides are wrong, but I don't think this lesbian white lady is going to be, you know, their black Jesus like George Floyd was. And I think it's just stupid. Maybe it's a warning to people to back off, but I feel like a lot of rights are being violated of US citizens. People are getting hurt just for being there. But then at the other, you know, the other side of it, you got federal agents trying to do their job and people are ramming them with their vehicles or blocking them in or, you know, threatening them. And it's crazy. I mean, I just saw a video of a church, right? Where the church, all the members were practicing a situation where if they find ICE, how to resist arrest, and for other ones that were not being the resistor of videotaping and saying shit. Like, just it looks like a protest all around the country right now, right? Where you got the lefty protesters yelling, screaming, throwing stuff, you know, recording, and then you got the police on one side that are starting to get, you know, amped up and starting to push and maybe trampling over people they shouldn't be. But it's doing that in like sects all over the country in the cities. So I think that's going to slowly amp up. And yeah, you might see some crazy shit because of it, but this lady by herself, no.
Mm. Yep. All of a sudden, we're going to start seeing pallets of bricks downtown again, and
Yeah. Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, which is crazy because like the people, they keep saying the people that are being deported don't give a shit about you. But you're out there, you know, giving your life away when you have children, you know, it's crazy.
right.
Yeah. Anything else, guys, before we close this one out?
Well, just pay attention to silver. It's the sleeping giant right now, and we're looking at over 200 years of artificial price and price suppression. True silver price discovery has not been shown before, and you're hearing mainstream media and big banks, financial systems like Bank of America coming out saying easy hit 300 by 2026.
Damn.
And a lot of big financial voices coming out predicting it to ramp up to the thousands.
Mm.
And when will that happen? And I heard a silver investor talk, or it was a silver dealer the other day, mention if it goes too fast, the volatility of it is going to scare people from wanting to buy it at that price for you. So yeah, it could reflect that price. It could reflect -40 like they did with the oil. But yeah, is anybody going to buy it or sell it at those prices? So there's a lot that
Yes.
plays into it. And I would say whatever you do, get your assets in your own possession, because that's the only thing that's going to protect you from financial whatever instability we start dealing with, having your assets in your own possession is the only thing that protects you, even from inflation. Your dollar every year, you have a savings account, your dollars are worth less the following year than it was that year. The only thing you can do to protect yourself is buy true wealth, not money. So get silver while you can. It's at 85, $84 right now. And that's pennies compared to where it's going, especially with China closing the borders on exports. India wanted to be a big producer of solar energy with China. You know, the solid state batteries. What was we were talking about? I think it's a couple kilos per solid state battery. It's for electronic vehicles, and it's 9-minute charge for 700 miles, 900 kilometers, something like that. You have Tomahawk missiles with all the war stuff going on right now. A Tomahawk missile, I think, has 500 ounces in each Tomahawk missile. Every one of those that blows up, you're not getting silver back. To start a new silver mine, I think to get it actually ramped up is going to take 10 years to go through, finding where they're going to be, getting all the paperwork and permits and everything, and then get it ramping and roaring. It's like 10 years. So what we have above ground right now is the supply.
Well, not to mention, silver is a byproduct of mining copper, nickel,
Zinc.
zinc. So it it makes no sense just mining for silver because you'll have copper and all these other metals. So you can't specialize in it unless you have a reason for it.
Yeah. And I think all precious metals are going to start really ramping up. That's why they've done away with the pennies. Pennies, quarters, all that stuff have been a huge percentage of it is zinc now, because the metal that made up those that loose change before is far more valuable than what it actually is face valued at. So I think you're going to see true price discovery of these metals start to be discovered in time to come. So don't get rid of your change. Don't start spending your change. Now's the time to start picking those pennies up off the ground. Just hold your
Yeah.
wealth is what I'm saying. Paper is fucking worthless.
Hold it.
Yeah,
Yeah. The cool thing about silver is no matter what happens to the price, all these companies and the government still has to buy them no matter what. So that's pretty cool. Can't say that about crypto
yeah,
or anything else. They have to have silver. They have to have it to make money. So if the price is way high, they're going to have to buy it.
that's right.
Pretty
Even if the
crazy.
pass is even if the price for having to buy those metals at a higher value is passed on to the customer, they still need it. They can't just say, "Oh, it's $100 now per ounce, so we can't make those iPhones this year or that electronic vehicle or whatever." They're still gonna go bankrupt. So they're gonna buy
Hmm.
it at whatever price they can. And a lot of these exchanges, SD Bullion, et cetera, and so forth, are reporting they're out of COMEX 1,000-ounce bars, which is where the big players are buying. They're buying that, and the COMEX itself is reporting shortages of people. Everybody's pulling their precious metals out of the U.S. vaults, and so if it's going to be kept in each country, in order to put that metal back in the COMEX again, they have to re-drill, retest, recertify. They're not going to. If it's taken out of the COMEX, it is staying out of the COMEX. And a lot of these prices we see are based off of the money in those vaults and futures and other stuff like that. But that's a big part of it, is accounting from the money in those vaults. We talked about Trump going in and taking the gold from the Vatican, and everybody's doing it. Every country is consolidating. They're consolidating power, they're consolidating wealth. And in that, this is, I think, kind of leading up to what we were saying with this doomsday topic. These are the signs that are saying it's every man for themselves. We're strengthening our alliances, we're taking over resources, and we're saying it's not leaving. That's not a good sign for peace, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got three things to close out this, but one of them is about silver. Just to add on to this, um, there's since the first of this month, there was a whole bunch of people trying to take possession of their paper silver. They want to take delivery. So technically, they can't fulfill those deliveries yet because it's not a delivery month. A delivery month is towards the end of the quarter, which is March. So I'll be bold, and it's my belief by the end of March, you'll see $200 an ounce silver because people and their like everyone and their grandma is going to be asking for their silver in their possession to be delivered. They want it because if you don't have it, you if you don't have it in your possession, you don't have it. It's you can say you have it, but if it's not physically with you, it's not there. Um, yeah. Also, I think the dollar is gonna be um, well, the current U.S. FERN, the Federal Reserve note, is gonna continue on, right? But it'll be inflated. So Trump and team has to do something about it because once silver hits $200 an ounce, you can automatically say the US dollar is already inflating. So they'll have to issue some sort of replacement. And I guess this is where cash will be king. Is um, is going to be maybe like a 10-to-1 exchange. So 10 of the old dollars to the new one of the new dollars. Now, if you have silver, which is valued at X amount of dollars, it'll help you get over that hump into the new dollar system. Um,
That's a great
Yeah, for
point.
sure, especially if it's backed by it.
Well, Tether's doing it too right now, tokenizing gold.
Hmm.
yeah,
So wait till they start tokenizing all precious metals in a crypto digital format.
Which
yeah.
one's Tether? Damn it.
The
USDT.
Oh, okay.
USDT.
Gotcha. Yeah, they're actually going back. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, they're like going off the dollar itself isn't doing anything for us, so we're gonna gonna hit the precious metals and see what happens.
What was your
yeah.
third?
Well, my last one is get ready for the Second American Revolution and the very first World Revolution. Countries around the world, countries around the world, once they understand what's happening, once information gets out, they're gonna have their own revolution against their governments, and we'll have our own here. It's just a matter of time, and I really believe it's gonna be this year. There's so much. It's only been 11 days into 2026, and look what has happened, kind of thing. There's gonna be a lot more pain coming up, and yeah, I'm really interested in seeing what will happen when the government shuts down again in 2 weeks. If it if there's no resolution to continue the government stuff.
One thing I want to add to the silver thing real quick is back in the day when they took us off the gold standard, it was a federal offense, federal crime to hold gold past that point when they've called it in for strategic reserves. And but one thing I've heard said is, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar, or before they use the stick, now they're going to use the sugar or whatever. But that's what this whole price discovery thing is about. So I would encourage people to hold their wealth, true wealth, like just don't trade it for dollars, because if you can at all costs, because all you're doing is feeding into their game. And we have talked about money printing machines and inflation, and silver's price discovery really just showing a sign of a weaker dollar more than anything. um, because look at a quarter, 90% quarter back 1964 was 25 cents. Now it's still 25 cents face value, but it's 90% silver, which is easily, $9 a quarter. US dollars per quarter. So anyways, they're going to ramp this price up, and they're going to try to entice you to sell your wealth for worthless paper. And you could see silver hit hundreds of dollars. You're fucking yourself by giving it over. It's all part of the game. It's the sugar rather than the stick kind of thing. We're not going to threaten people. There's going to be a revolution if we say you have to give us this. So let's entice them with worthless paper, which, like I said, every year is worth less and less. You have less buying power. Maybe if you need to pay off a car or pay off some debts, sure, sell a couple ounces, get yourself zeroed out, but hold that wealth. Anyways, that's all I got.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, need to let everyone know. Make sure to hit like, leave a comment. We love the comments. Want to know what you guys are thinking, or if there's something you want us to look into or we missed, let us know. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.